We got it. This is our place episode 9, which is pretty crazy. 9 weeks in this. We got Curtis Grant.
Gant.
Gant.
Yep.
Sorry, my bad.
Nah, you're cool.
Should have asked you beforehand. Curtis Gant from Living Lawless. You probably already know who he is. I've seen this apparel all over town. Man, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
My name's Curtis Gant, born in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Raised here all my life. I have a clothing line called Living Lawless Apparel. I'm also a audio
Everywhere around here.
engineer, make beats, producer, photographer. So pretty much, do
Yeah.
a lot of things. But my main thing is my clothing line and my engineering.
Cool. So how did the engineering stuff start? Let's start there.
The engineering, that kind of rolled off of everything else, honestly.
Yeah.
I was doing the clothing line before that. I was
Okay.
making beats before that.
Really?
The engineering was like, it was me taking a passion and just turning it into a revenue.
Okay. So
Basically.
what started this whole thing? Was it the clothing line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did that come to be?
I was at Thaddeus Stevens,
Okay.
and I had a final project.
Oh.
For my final project, we had to come up with a brand. So
Oh.
I was just like, it didn't have to be a brand, but it had to be
Yeah.
a branded product. So
Okay.
it could be anything. It could be a kitchen cleaner. It could be stoves. It could be anything. So I was
Wow.
like, I want to do clothing for some reason. Like I just want to
Yeah.
do like a t-shirt line.
Okay.
So I went and I was just brainstorming for the longest time. I couldn't come up with a name. I was just kind of stuck. And I remember one day I was sitting in class, and I remember listening to some Wiz Khalifa.
Yo.
I just heard a song, and I heard the word Living Lawless, and it stuck with me. So I was like,
Yeah.
that's the name. I didn't really have the complete meaning. Like I had an
Okay.
idea of like what I wanted it to mean, but
Mhm.
it didn't have the definition it now has.
Okay.
At the time, the idea was like kings are kind of like they live lawless.
Yeah.
They make the rules. So if there's like something they want to abide by or they don't,
Yeah.
they set it or don't put it in place.
Yeah.
So like we all are our own kings, and that's kind of what it started off of.
Okay.
And it was just a project. So I did the project and
Yeah.
printed some T-shirts, and everybody was like, "Hey," not everybody, but people were like, "Hey, well, you should sell T-shirts, like sell
Yeah.
some shirts." I'm like, "All right." So I went and bought a box of shirts, and that kind of started it all.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's cool how that happened just from like a project.
Yeah, yep.
How many years have you been doing this?
2012.
Whew.
The design came out in 2000. Well, yeah, this design actually came out in about 2012, maybe early 2013.
Wow, I did not realize it was that long.
There was a design before this actually too.
Okay. Is that what's on your hat?
No, that
Okay.
was the one on my hat is the second design we ever released.
Okay.
And then we have 2 other designs we released, and then a 5th design coming out real soon.
Wow.
And then actually another one after that coming out.
Dude,
So,
you're on a roll.
but yeah, the original logo was it literally just said "living" with a crown in the middle, and then "lawless." But
Yeah.
the first week of me selling T-shirts online, I guess hashtagging and stuff,
Mhm.
a company had found like I had the crown in my logo, and I guess they had it trademarked. Me really not knowing the game, knowing how things go, maybe they were just trying to scare me to
Yeah.
not using the crown. But either way, I went and I like switched up my logo within 5 minutes, and this
Wow.
is what I came up with. Sent it to my printer to get new shirts made, and
Wow.
yeah, it was like, and I had to rush to get it done because I just put in a new order for clothing. So I was like, all right, I can't
You can't
lose
sit
out
on it.
all. Yeah, I can't lose out
Yeah.
on all these shirts not being able to really sell them. So I went and I quickly hit my printer up. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna make a new logo for you real quick. Just hold out,
Yeah.
and send in the logo within like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's where this logo came from.
And so you're doing all your own work.
As far as design work,
Yeah.
not now. At first, I was.
Okay.
At first, and it really wasn't much design work, honestly. I had this logo I came up with.
Mhm.
The second logo, which is the crown logo, my buddy Gabe, he actually, like 2 years within me doing this, he came up to me and was like, "Yo, I have these drawings for you. And I was like, all right, cool, let me see them. But the
Yeah.
crazy thing is, over the years, I always wanted a logo that had a crown that said Living Lawless, because
Yeah.
my ideal was a crown.
Exactly.
Originally. So, like, I'm not that artistic when it comes down to drawing. Like, I can
Yeah,
do
same.
digital work, but I
Mhm.
can't, like, drawing. I suck at drawing.
Yeah.
I
feel
wish
that.
I can learn. I probably could learn, but I just suck at it.
Yeah.
So my buddy came to me with this drawing, and the first one I looked at was this crown logo. I like looked at him and was like, "Yo, you took the idea out of my head without me even having to say anything to you."
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, so that was my second logo, and then after that, I really held out for the longest time, as far as designing new logos, because I just wanted my whole thing is I wanted people to see the logo and know what it was.
Yeah.
Versus if I'm just slapping a bunch of different logos out there, people aren't going to really know what.
Exactly.
They're not going to know what represents the brand. You know,
Mhm.
there's not going to be a mark that people see and they're going to be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's that."
Exactly.
So that's why.
Well,
I
this
came
is
up.
that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
Every
yep.
time I see that somewhere, I know exactly who it is.
Yeah.
Like for the past like 2-3 years, I've known
Yeah.
exactly what that means.
Word, that's dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
So yeah, I get what you're saying. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep. So I literally for the past couple years just been pushing the same two logos. Honestly, this logo the most, and then the crown logo I'll drop like rarely here and there, maybe like once a
Gotcha.
year. I might
Okay.
drop some stuff
Like a
with it.
special.
Yeah, and then recently I started doing a bunch of collaborations,
Nice.
which have been awesome because I've been
Yeah.
like, over the years I've had people several times ask me like, "Hey Kurt, you want to collab? You want to collab? You want to collab?" And I'm like, "Yeah, when the time comes, like I will. Like I don't want
Yeah.
to force it."
Mhm.
And this past year, I was going down to Art Basel. I don't know if you ever heard of Art Basel, but it's a huge like art event in Miami.
I didn't know about that. No.
It's huge art event. Takes place in Wynwood, and like there's art events, fashion shows, music shows, everything all over.
Yeah.
So I was going down there, and I was riding. Before I actually was going out there, like 2 weeks prior, I was riding out with my boys down to Baltimore, and my boy Diz, he's an artist. He paints.
Okay.
He's the one who did like my jackets and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
He went and we were sitting there talking. I was like, "Yo, why don't we collab?" And he's like, "I'm with it." So right then and there, that was like the first collab I did. And yeah, shout out Diz because he kind of got everything started for that. After that, that just kind of like started a streak. I now have 3 other logos that are already designed. One of them dropped besides the Diz one, and the other 2 are dropping soon.
Okay. Wow.
So honestly, that's been a big thing because it gets me out into other areas that people don't really see the brand too much.
I feel that.
So
Yeah.
whether I'm collaborating with somebody in Nebraska or I'm collaborating with somebody in California,
Yeah.
that's exposing the brand to those areas and to the people that that person works with.
Exactly.
So yeah, the collaboration thing, that's kind of been where I've been branching off and letting other
Gotcha.
people use their creativity.
Yeah.
And then just paying them for their work. Just
Yeah.
be like, "Hey, how much is it to do?" I'll give them an idea.
Yeah.
They'll give me a price, and then I let them do their work, add their
Yeah.
touch to it.
Dude, that's awesome.
And it always I haven't had a problem yet with one of the artists I worked with. So
Okay.
wow. The other artist I work with is Adam Serrano.
Yeah, I know Adam.
Yeah. He did 2 of my logos. The one
No
that's
way.
going to be releasing in May, and then he did like this 80s like retro logo for me that I
Dude.
dropped.
Yeah,
in
Adam's the
Miami.
man. Adam's
Yeah,
cool.
He's awesome. So, and he's actually working with me right now for a lot of graphic design stuff for an event I have coming up.
No way.
Can't say anything as far as details of the event yet.
All right, cool. We
But,
won't have you spill too much.
It would be dope if I could, but I just don't want to yet. 'Cause
Nah, I got you.
I
Keep
didn't
it close
roll
to your
out on
vest, bro.
mine. Yeah, but yeah, and then other than that, I have my buddy Vic Rivera. He lives out in
Okay.
California. He's an amazing artist as well.
Gotcha.
He moved out there maybe like a little over a year ago, I think. Literally just with a couple $100 and in hopes of just launching his career as an artist, and he's been out there ever since.
Dude.
Honestly,
up.
I really haven't even known him for that long. I just known his work.
Yeah.
And after I started doing all these collabs, I'm like, all right, this is one guy I got to reach out to.
Cool.
So that's the next release that I'm about to drop is with him.
Wow.
And that's gonna be it's like the
Yo.
spring release, so it's
Nice.
gonna be really awesome. It's gonna be dropping hopefully this upcoming week.
Yeah. Well, you've been in this for close to 8 years now.
Close to
Yeah, seven technically, I guess.
Yeah, 7. Yeah.
Wow, dude. So is this full time for you between the brand and the producing? Is this kind of it?
Now officially, yeah.
Okay.
It is, and I hopefully, which I think it will be, the last time that I'll have to make this step, and not have to go back to working for somebody else.
Yeah, that's a hard
'cause
transition.
It's not my. I was honestly prepared for it. I was preparing for it, and just waiting for the day for it to come, and it happened, and now that it happens, I'm just going full force with everything.
Yeah.
Just investing all my time, even money that I, do have saved for, business. Just investing it all into the right things that are gonna continue everything to grow.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, it's my full time now. It hasn't been that long, so I can't think. Yeah, it's been forever.
Yeah.
It's literally only been a couple weeks now.
Okay, wow. So you've recently made that plunge to make this everything. Yep. Okay, cool, dude.
So it's it was a big step, but I'm going forth with it, and we'll see how it goes. And if I have to pick up a job in the future, make a couple dollars, I will. But
of course,
that's not my goal.
Okay.
My goal is now to be fully working for myself.
Yeah, the entrepreneur lifestyle.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun.
It's
hectic.
Fun. It's hectic.
It's
it
hectic.
Really is
That's
hectic.
what it is.
Yeah, it's constant. Like
it is.
It doesn't stop.
And it weighs on you differently. Some days I'd be tired for no reason.
Today was kind of like, it's one of the today was one of those days where it was kind of like getting to you're just like, all right, I want to chill on the couch and do some work, kind of catch up on work, it can be stressful, because everything weighs on you, as far as
no doubt
business, especially if you're the only one doing everything, pretty much.
Yeah, and is that you? You don't have people working for you yet?
No, not right now. I have I have like photographers I work with, and like things like that, but nothing. I don't have anybody solid that's on my team yet. I have team members that support me heavy.
I feel that.
But I don't have nobody that I'm like, hey, this is your job, and I'm on top of them for that. I feel like I have people I could rely on for that, but I don't want to put them in that position.
I feel that. I tried to hire somebody from my firm, and he just like kind of dipped out without really saying much, and I was like, that's probably a sign.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably a sign I need to keep this to myself.
Yeah, that's why, I just kept to myself. Like, right now, within the past, year, I've been getting, a bunch of people on my team that really support me heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And that I don't even really need to have those solid team members yet, because I know they're going to come.
Exactly.
And, whether, it's me finding the right person or them coming to me and saying, hey, Kurt, this is what I want to do for you. And if you can do something for me and I can fit you in that role, I definitely will, be able to, let you help me out. And if I can help you out too.
Yeah.
It can be something that you can use, as to get other jobs. If you, whether you're shooting some photos to help me out or, you're doing promotion for me, you can take that and go to another company.
Exactly.
And be like, hey, this is what I did for him. I can do this for you.
Opportunities are big.
Yeah.
And that's mostly what I work off of too. Is like, what can we both get out of a situation? Yep. Because at our point and at our age and at our financial status, it's hard to be like, I can pay you $60,000 a year.
Yep.
Like, that's not realistic.
It's not.
So you gotta really be willing to compromise and be in a position where you realize you both need to get something out of this.
Yep.
And what is it that both of you actually have to offer that's beneficial?
Yep, exactly.
And so, that's how I work with graphic designers. That's how I work with most people that I work with, especially based off of exposure, just because of the different places that I go. Like, people just get exposure if they come and work with me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's the same way with you because I see you everywhere.
Yep.
So how did Living Lawless, you're very connected to hip-hop and rap. So how did that transition happen to where you're almost, I don't say you're just a hip-hop brand, but I've never been to a hip-hop show in Lancaster where I didn't see you at least repped or you have a stand. Especially if it's Wednesday or Titus or any of those people.
That transition started It was right around when I was in college, when I would have started the brand.
Okay.
Right after that, because um, I hung around with a bunch of homeboys that rapped,
Okay.
or I knew people that had studios and things like that.
Wow.
So um, when I started the brand, and I was doing photography
Okay.
because of
Gotcha.
school, so it was like everything kind of intertwined where I would start
Interesting.
doing photos for these photographers,
Wow.
photos for these rappers,
Yeah.
and it led to me putting my clothing on them, and
Okay.
then it led to me just being around the studio 24/7. At one point, I actually managed the artist.
Okay.
We were doing shows in Philly, and I was only 17, 18 at this time. Like we were like
Yeah.
really making like really dope moves, like doing podcasts. Like,
Wow.
it was like before everybody was like kind of really doing it now.
Cool.
We
Which is where
were
you
we
wanna
were
be.
trying to attempt it,
Yeah.
but we were so young and didn't
Yeah.
completely know exactly what we were doing. But that was like the beginning of it all. Was like
Cool.
around when I first started the brand in 2012, 13,
Ooh.
just being around
Gotcha.
homies, and then from there meeting other people.
Mhm.
As far as my first show, that was like kind of the beginning of me setting up at shows. That was
Yeah.
Adam. Adam gave me that opportunity.
Oh, really? No way.
Um,
Okay.
I was at a show, Dougie Kent. They had a show, JBDK.
Yeah. 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 I know about those guys.
They had a show, this was in 2000, maybe like 13, 14. Summer Jam was like one of their first ones. And
Wow.
I was just there with Wednesday, which Wednesday wasn't known as Wednesday at the time. Ricky, which is Pineapple Poppy,
Yeah,
but he
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
Pineapple Poppy at the time.
Yeah.
My boy Sama was there. Titus was there. Like
Yo, I love
like
Titus.
pretty much all of them were
Yeah.
there. And like 4 or 5 of them were rocking Living Lawless. And this was like they were all wearing black T-shirts with the white logo, so it was like really solid and it stood out.
Yeah.
Now you had like 5, 6 people rocking like the same thing. And
Yeah.
we went and we're sitting there, and Adam comes up and he's like, he asked, I think it was Alex or Wednesday. He asked one of them, was like, "Are you the owner of Living Lawless?" And I'm just sitting down, chilling. Everybody else is like standing up, talking and stuff. And he's like, "No." He's like, "That's the owner right there." And I like look at Adam. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" He's like, "Hey, like I love what you're doing." He's like, "You got any stuff with you tonight?" And I'm like,
Wow.
"Yeah, I do. I always have stuff in the trunk." And he's like, "Why don't you just go grab some stuff?" He's like, "I have a table you can set up." And I'm like,
Whoa.
"All right, perfect." So I set up that night. And actually, Jay that night, he actually wore a shirt that night during his performance.
That's
So
crazy.
that kind of was like what set it off as far as
Yeah.
breaking into the shows.
Okay.
And then from there on, it was just like learning how to network and navigate.
Yeah, that whole
Yeah.
process.
Yep.
And now you're throwing events too. Now I know you kind of hinted at that, but is that
Yeah,
kind of what you're
starting to.
doing now?
Starting to. I'm
Okay.
starting to try to. Nothing crazy,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna
Right.
start dabbling in that a little bit.
Yeah, and ties
have
with the Ripple
stuff-
Effect, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That's where your last
shout
show
out
was,
Ripple
right?
Effect. Yeah. Yep. That's Wednesday. Wednesday is the one who really came up with the Ripple Effect.
Right. Uh-huh.
Down in Florida, in Miami, and he's been killing it down there. And he hit me up and was like, "Hey, I want to bring this to Lancaster." So we're doing launch
Mhm.
April 25th through 28th. We have a stage at Altana.
Nice.
That's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But we just did recently this past weekend. It was called $1 and a Dream.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much, for the artists.
Uh-huh.
It was $1 to show up, to get into the doors. It was a private event. You just reserve on Eventbrite.
Mhm.
Dope turnout, amazing turnout. It was free for artists to perform, so they didn't have to pay to perform.
Yeah.
Amazing energy, amazing turnout. So yeah, that was like one of the first events that I was kind of like fully involved with.
Yeah.
But I actually have like an event that I'm fully planning right now
Okay.
by myself without
Wow.
anybody. Which is a lot of stress. So I definitely
I'm
see
sure.
what Wednesday is going through, like just getting everything
Yeah.
together as far as planning an event and making sure it's gonna go right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm dealing with right now as far as events. I'm starting to get into it. It's all going to be tied in with the clothing line, of course.
Yeah.
I want to start doing more things for, like, the community.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to involve the community more.
Exactly.
That's
Because we have a budding
supports
hip hop scene here.
Yeah.
And you're catching a lot of that through your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Has a lot of these ties with hip hop spilled over into your studio? Do you work with a lot of the same artists that wear your clothes, or is it kind of like you're helping up and comers, or?
It kind of goes all across the board, honestly.
Yeah.
With the clothing line and the music, I either will work with somebody one way or another.
Gotcha.
Even if I'm not recording the artist,
Yeah.
I might be having beats for them to hop on, or they might, grab some gear for a video, or they might want a photo shoot.
Yeah.
So I always have something to work with the artist.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're pretty multi-talented. You seem
Yeah.
to like kind of dominate that whole, photo, video, producing.
Video is like,
so you're not a video guy.
I can shoot videos.
Okay.
All right. I definitely can.
Cause I saw the one you did for Angel.
Yeah.
And that was dope.
I'm in the videos. I'm good at it, but it's not my main thing.
Gotcha.
Photography. I'm more of a photographer.
Okay.
I like to explain, but if
Okay.
you do need video work, I can do video work, like promotional stuff.
Yeah.
I can do music videos. They're not like my favorite thing to do, but
Gotcha.
I can do music videos. I like to do ones that are more planned out.
Gotcha.
Not just the ones you run and shoot around.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, honestly, if I had to say I do videos, I would like to do like promotional stuff behind
Gotcha.
the scenes.
You don't want to do any big time.
Yeah,
stuff.
like big time stuff. I'm
yeah.
kind of cool with that. There's amazing videographers out there that really are like way better than me. So I just don't have the time to put in to get to where they're at.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's good to know where you're strong at.
Exactly. So I do what I know I can do in video work. So that's pretty much it with that. But as far as video work, like you got Maggie, like she's killing it.
Oh, I don't actually know her.
Oh my gosh, she's Maggie. I don't want to butcher her last name, so I'm not gonna say her. Maggie Rudisil, I think.
Okay, I'll have to look her up.
She's amazing.
Okay.
Shout out Maggie. I actually have a video that we started shooting, like a promotional video for the brand.
Okay.
We're gonna finish that up eventually. I'm not sure when, but we're gonna finish that up.
Yeah.
But she's amazing. And then you got Duncan's brother.
Oh, dude, Jay. Are you talking about? I forget his name. Sam. Dude, Sam is killing the game.
Amazing.
Yeah. His stuff with 717
Yeah.
is like incredible.
Yeah. So.
And Charlie.
As far as videos, like I don't touch them in that field. So
I feel you.
I let them, if somebody's like, I need something like this, I'm like, this is where you can go. You're just gonna have to pay a little bit more money.
Yeah.
Depending on who you go to. But yeah, like photography, you want photo work, I'm all for it. Like I love shooting anywhere, any type of photos. It can be a wedding, it can be me taking pictures of a family, a baby shower, photos I love. So
Okay.
That's fun. But yeah, as far as like the artists and the working with the artists a lot, it's mainly like one way or another, everything ties in. So I might get them into the studio, we start recording, and then they're like, yo, I want some gear. And then before you know it, they're like, but I need some photos.
Yeah.
And, it kind of all trickles down. And,
I mean, you might as well start your own thing, man. You do it all, man. I don't know what you got in the works.
Like, why don't you start a label? I'm like,
you might as well at this point. I mean, that's for you.
You got money for a label.
That's for you to decide. I mean, hey, I started a label in high school out of my basement. And it was corny, it was cheesy, but we did work.
Yeah.
I mean, I had, other little high schoolers coming in there to record their little covers.
We had little attempts at that throughout my history of, doing this all. But I'm not at the point yet to where I have a, like, there's artists that I see that I'm like, they're dope as shit. I would love to manage them.
Yeah.
But I'm not in a position to.
Dude, that's another tier. You know what I mean? Because you're already doing all this.
Managing artists.
Yeah.
And it's hard because artists are they have egos. And it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not. Everybody has an ego. And some people have higher level, of an ego. But artists usually stand on that higher end.
Yeah.
And it's like when you have people, not even egos, but the sense of authority or control, if you want to say, of their work.
Yeah.
Artists are always like, boom, I want control of my work, everything.
Yeah.
So it's not even work, but of everything, the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't understand it.
Yeah.
or they don't want to learn it.
Yeah.
And so like working with the artists, it can be hard because they're like, they expect, oh, I got a manager now, shit's about to roll off. It's like, no, you got to work even harder now. You know, we got so much shit we got to get done.
Exactly.
And not only that, they're like, well, I want to do something this way. It's like, well, that's really not how you should be doing it.
Yeah.
Or they just start doing shit their way.
Yeah.
It's like, I thought we were rolling this song out 2 weeks from now, and they're like, oh, I just wanted to drop it. It's like, so.
But that messes up the whole process.
Yeah, so I just, to me, like, I wouldn't be into the position of me wanting to manage an artist until I have money to where then I can be like, all right, now you're signing this contract. This is exactly what's going to go on.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can actually make the moves I need to make.
Exactly.
Who knows if that ever will happen. I'm not saying I'm going to manage an artist, but it could happen. I definitely love the music industry.
Yeah.
I definitely see myself being in that aspect of it, working with a label or being part of a label. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just kind of like I work with artists in all different angles, and it's fun, like just being around it.
Yeah, dude. It looks fun.
Yeah, it's always. I
mean, I see your Instagram story. You're always doing something.
Yeah, it can be a lot.
I mean, that's how you make it.
I'm always on my phone, like it's going right now.
Well, dude, I'm trying to get like you because I'm always forgetting. So I'll be doing a million different things and forget to post it and be like, "Wow, I just lost a chance."
It's hard
because people are always like, whenever I do post stuff, I get a good reaction to it. Yeah, but I always forget.
You kind of gotta like, I don't know. It's hard. Like you gotta eat, live, and breathe it. Like
exactly.
I wake up and it's like it sucks that like it's social media because it's social media. Like me personally, I don't really like social media.
Yeah, I can feel that. I hated branding. Yeah, branding was the bane of my existence.
When I first started, like all that like was kind of like unknown to me. Like I didn't completely understand social media and marketing and all that. Like really anything as far as business. So
exactly, the whole Instagram thing was not what I wanted. Yeah, that's not how I wanted to do things.
I've recently just started. With Instagram, I recently just started working on my content within the past half year, honestly. Like,
well, same. It's been about a year process.
Quality content.
It's been about a year process of me like figuring out exactly what the brand is.
Yeah.
Like what do I want my presence here to be?
Yep.
Because I was watching all the Gary Vee stuff and all the other people who are like, if you figure out how you're going to present yourself here, and what you want to sell from here, you can really go far.
Yep.
Because the market's all on Instagram now.
Oh,
you could sell shirts all over the world just by Instagram.
Yep.
So. Yeah, it's a hard process.
And it's because, like, all right, so your business is like your life.
Yeah.
But if your business is ran on social media,
it's double your life.
Social media kind of your life.
Exactly.
And it's like you got to find a thin line to be able to know when you need to use it, when you don't.
Exactly.
It's hard, though, like, as for me, especially, like, all my sales, me booking people, I got to be on it 24/7. I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, boom, checking it. There's messages. I'm replying real quick. And then I'm rolling right back over and I'm falling asleep.
I hate it. Sometimes when I wake up to messages, I have to really decide. I might not even
go back to sleep. I might wake up.
Decide. Yeah. Like that's when I roll over in the middle of the night and I see a couple messages, I have to really decide
on what
life I want to live right now. That's where I'm at. I'm like, whew.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's fun. And it's only going to get crazier and more funner as it goes. Funner isn't a word, but
I feel you. Yo, we're gonna take a quick break right here and get the camera back rolling.
Cool.
We are back, man. So you were talking about getting involved in the community a little bit. So what are some ideas you have around like kind of helping your brand branch out into the community and do stuff like that?
Kind of like some local events like cookouts and things for like the children. So, like, you know, whether it's the skating castle or just, like, bowling alley, laser tag, stuff that's going to bring out the family.
Yeah.
And that's going to bring out everybody. So I'm not just branching out just to, like, hip-hop communities. Or, you know, I want to kind of start branching out to everybody because the whole meaning of living lawless is about living free, comfortably, not letting nobody judge you on how you live. So if you are that family man, you know, that works a 9 to 5 and goes home and you enjoy spending, you know, all your time with your family, you don't do nothing else, that's you. If you're that mom, you know, and you love being a parent and that's all you love to do, that's you. Basketball player, teacher, whatever you do, that you live in lawless. So if I can start bringing these families out, I'll be hitting all these bases.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be having teachers come out with their kids that are basketball players and
Yeah.
football players and soccer players, and I can start, you know, getting out to these sports events and or having sports events for kids.
Yeah.
I want to just start getting involved with families and communities.
Yeah, I feel like that's an important aspect, especially for your brand and also for just like the type of person you are. And I think you're like you would be an inspiration to a lot of those kids. You like giving them an example of what it's like to not only like build something, but to realize like the marathon, not like a mile kind of idea, which is where like you've been in this game for a long time and you've stayed committed to the process versus you like tried to build an overnight brand on Instagram and because it didn't work in like your first 3 months, you gave up.
Yep.
And so I think you would have a lot to teach young kids about consistency, which is what you were getting at. How is those things working now? Or in terms of like concerts, is that kind of where you're starting with that idea? Or do you have a totally separate idea?
Well, my first way, I can't announce it because
don't announce it, but
that's going to be that's the event that I'm planning right now.
Okay.
And that one is, I'm still tying in with the hip hop community a little bit.
Gotcha. Well, you don't want to lose track of that. Yeah.
Yeah. But in a sense, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Honestly, this event's going to be for all, like everybody that supports us.
That's
not
dope.
me, but the brand, because you know the brand's. It's not me; it's about the brand.
Exactly.
So like whoever supports the brand, the next event is pretty much for them to come out and
Okay.
everybody just come together. You know, I want my events to be like cookouts, like family reunions, where everybody comes together.
And I think that would be tough because there's nothing like that here, man.
Yeah.
There's nowhere people go that they're like. Or even an event that happens like every year that I think everybody feels that way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You know, hopefully it'll lead to stuff like that. That's the goal, is, you know, have like a day every year that, you know, we're having something and it's like huge for the city.
Exactly.
And it doesn't even have to be for the city, like really for the community.
Yeah.
And, you know, the city involved. That's the main thing, is getting support from other local businesses. Getting involved with them, seeing how, you know, they can support me and I can also support them while bringing out the community. The more businesses that get together and work together, the more people we can bring out, and the more money that gets put back into the community. So that's my main thing is trying to bring out everybody and just have a good time. But at the same time, expose people to the brand and what it means.
Yeah. Well, that's super exciting. And, I mean, one of the reasons that I had you on this show is because this show is kind of being used for a lot of different reasons. But one of the ideas that I've had that I've been trying to push on the community is to create what I want to call the Our Place Center, which is a center that's actually dedicated to kind of the ideas that you're talking about.
Okay, awesome.
So we're dedicating it to young adults and to train skills like entrepreneurship. So having people come and talk about those things. But it also has like a common area where people can have events like that.
Okay, cool.
And there's a cafe and a place where like people in the community can feel like welcome. It's not the same like gentrified mess that like Prince Street and 1-8 and all those shits are. But it actually feels like the community and actually feels like a place that people who grew up here and are from here can actually relate to versus like all the stuff that's moving in now that Lancaster's cool. You've been here a long time, so like, I mean, how have you seen that change affect different parts of the city, maybe even different parts of your own business and stuff like that?
The city has changed a lot. It can be a scary thing. Yeah. Because, you know, gentrification. Yeah. Is definitely happening. Yeah. And it sucks because, like, you know, my parents grew up middle class. So it's like they didn't, you know, I'm not saying that's because I know people that had worse, but the reason why I'm saying it sucks is because, like, all right, people like them are okay, but you have, like, I had homeboys down the street that, you know, their parents barely had anything. You know? Yeah, exactly. And then they're the people that are getting kicked out. Yeah, and getting pushed out or pushed into a certain area based off of income. And it's, or you know, like, just, it's, I don't even want to get started on it completely. But, it's, that's one thing that gets me is that. But other than that, like, we have, like, our art community has grown a lot. And that's what I do love about Lancaster. Like, like, there's certain things that I don't like that are going on and changing. But the art community and the music community has grown like substantially.
That has been interesting because I've had a lot of those people here. I've actually mostly had artists on here, either photographers, videographers, or like actual artists. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know Keisha Finney?
Yeah.
So Keisha was on the show. Yeah,
Yeah.
Keisha is amazing. And Oz was on the show. I don't know if you know Osman. Ori, film dude. He only shoots with a film camera.
I might. Does he do skateboard stuff at all? By any chance?
I think he does skateboard, if I'm correct, but I'm
I
not
might.
sure.
It sounds a little familiar. I might.
Yeah, he's another cool person, and like that's one thing that they all said is like, we're all here, we just don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's kind of why I wanted to do this show, and I wanted to kind of like highlight all the people here who have talents, who are young.
Yeah.
Because I feel personally that even with all the innovation, there has been a lot of things done for like children, which is cool. And there's been a lot of growth in like the LYP. Do you know about that? Yeah. LYP, like kind of young adult circle. Yep. But like there's kind of like a gap in the middle here where we lose like these 18-year-olds or 17, 18.
I was there at one point.
Yeah. And like there's really nothing to do until you turn 21. But really, people don't really join those groups until like you're like 23 or 24.
Yeah, but even when you're 21, it's like you're going out and drinking.
Yeah.
Like, and it sucks because like that's the thing with Lancaster is like we have a lot of talented young kids around here that don't, whether they're rappers or they make beats or they're photographers. Like I have so many little cousins like, and that are just like talented, but they don't have a studio or like. And I'm definitely trying to get with them. My schedule's like really busy, but like just to be able to have a place that I can be like, this place, you know, they let people come in and make beats and just. Or record, or draw, or just be creative,
Exactly.
Overall. And not only that, places for them to do things like events. There's really no events for like the younger kids that do music or even have like a business. Like there's really kids out there that are still in high school that have business ideas, but you're not taught
how to do them.
Yeah, you're not taught business in school. I was never taught. How to run a business. I'm still learning as I go.
I feel that too. Yeah.
So I definitely see, there's definitely a need for that in Lancaster. Somewhere that, that age group, like I would say like from like just 9th grade. You know, 9th grade up to like 21, like that whole age group, honestly, like throughout high school, they have things in high school for you to do, but you were there at one point. Average high school.
You're not
going to want to participate with school stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But if there was something outside of the school that they could really connect to that was part of the community, like you said.
Exactly. And I really think it would be important for us to show entrepreneurship kind of skills. Yeah. Because like even being an artist or being a rapper, they all fall under like entrepreneurship. Because you have to follow that kind of same track.
It's a business.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that like that's probably gonna be like what I want to kind of be the focus of the space is like we have all these spaces for different things like co-working, possibly a studio, even though I know that would be the hardest one to get. But definitely art in a co-working space and then like a cafe area. And then kind of keep expanding from there. But I'm really stuck on the idea because I moved back to Lancaster. I guess it's been like a year and a half ago now.
Okay.
And when I moved back from Atlanta, I could not find a job. I'd been working in nonprofits. I had been helping develop a program for a nonprofit. So I was like, it's Lancaster. I'm probably going to be able to find a job. I could not find a job.
Yeah.
And I was young. I was young.
It can get hard, especially if you have a record. I don't have a record, but I know people. Like,
well, if you have a record here, it's seriously.
Yeah, I feel bad for people.
But I noticed that I was the youngest person in all these rooms. Like every time I would go to a nonprofit event, a fundraiser, anything, I was always the youngest person in the room. And I was like, that's weird. Because coming from Atlanta, I was not the youngest in the room. Young people run the show. They're always at events. They're always involved. There's always interns. And I was like, man, this is mad weird that I'm always the youngest in the room.
There's a different community, bro.
And so I was like, I really want to fill that gap. Like, I really want to start getting young people interested in change because a lot of young people talk about change
but just don't know how to make it.
You know what I mean?
I definitely get you on that because growing up in the city, you definitely see things that go on and you don't agree with.
Yeah.
And you would love to see change.
Yeah.
Because you also see, of course, in the media, and it happens on a bigger scale all over.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that like the youth need to get involved because they're usually the ones involved with it. Like it's usually,
no doubt.
But they don't really have like Lancaster. Like we have, of course, I'm pretty sure we have things going on that that make pushes for changes and things like that. But as far as like you said, the young kids, I don't I don't see. And they're probably out there, but I don't see any like young activists, if you want to say. Like,
exactly.
Kids that are really out here 14, 15, 16 years old.
Well, that's because it's not promoted. It's not. It might be cool within their school.
Yeah.
But in terms of the community they come out here.
They get outside of school and they they're hanging with their friends. It's a whole different.
It's a whole different ball game.
Trust me, I know exactly how that goes.
And that's what I don't like personally. I'm like, young people are always going to be the future. You know what I mean? Like, we're the young guys right now, but we're not going to be the young guys in 5 years.
We're not even. Honestly, there's younger guys than us.
Exactly.
I'm 24, about to be 25. And honestly, I'm starting to feel old.
Yeah.
Like, not physically, but I'm like, damn, I'm 25. And then I see, like, dudes doing some stuff, and I'm like, damn, they're younger than me. I'm like, that's dope, though. Like,
exactly. It's exciting.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, all right, now I got to push even harder because I'm like, this dude is doing this at the age, like, and a lot of it has to do with technology.
Oh, yeah.
But, it's just like, it's cool when you see that.
Exactly. And I like that. I've always been the baby, and it's going to be weird not to be the baby. Like, because I've always been the youngest in these games, but, like, I'm very excited to have somebody younger than me come to these things and, like, be involved with change because I feel like it's just so important. And, like, if we're not training people to kind of, like, carry the mantle, then we're basically asking the buck to stop with us.
Yeah. So
which
whatever,
sucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that you want to be carried on, you got to really push that.
Exactly. It won't just, like, magically happen.
Yep.
If you put all the weight on you, you're actually being more selfish than anything.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, you have to be about change as a whole.
Yep.
And so that's really what I've been pushing for, and I'm excited to, like, meet with people like you and kind of hear that that's happening. Like, people want that kind of stuff to happen.
Yeah.
So I've been really blessed by the time that you've given me here, man.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks for everything.
Appreciate
Dude,
you having me.
Dude, you're the man for real. I'm excited. I'm gonna be at your events.
I'll keep you updated. I'll tell you a little bit more about it.
Okay.
Maybe off camera.
All right, bad. No camera. All right. All right, this is episode 9. We got 1 episode left. That's crazy. It's been 10 weeks here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Crazy times. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with Ryan Davis. Peace.
All right. Peace.